Listen, if you want to make it in this life, you have to remember two things. Stay hungry, stay humble. See, some people get a little taste of success and they start thinking they've arrived. They stop pushing, stop growing. Others never get started because they're too afraid to reach. But I'm here to tell you, success isn't about luck. It's about hunger. It's about humility. And if you don't have both, you won't last long. Let's talk about what it really means to stay hungry and stay humble. Let me tell you something. If you don't have a vision, you're walking in circles. You're moving, sure, but you're not going anywhere. You're just busy being busy. And that's not living, that's existing. That's waking up every day, going through the motions, punching the clock, and waiting for the weekend like it's some kind of escape. But escape from what? A life you built with your own two hands? A life that's supposed to mean something? No, that's not the way we were meant to live. You need a vision, not a wish, not a daydream, but a vision so powerful it keeps you up at night. A vision so real, so clear in your mind that it pulls you out of bed before the alarm ever rings. A vision that doesn't need an invitation because it's already there, demanding your attention, pushing you forward when you feel like stopping. And let me tell you, if your vision doesn't scare you just a little, it's not big enough. If it doesn't make you question whether you have what it takes, if it doesn't stretch you beyond what you thought was possible, then you're playing too small. Because hunger, real hunger, starts with something greater than you. Something that demands more from you than you've ever given. See, too many people let their dreams fade into the background because they convince themselves that life is about being practical, about playing it safe. They say, I don't want to get my hopes up, or what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? What if that thing you've been too afraid to chase is the very thing you were put on this earth to do? What if you've been given a fire inside you for a reason? You see, the world doesn't need another person just going through the motions. It needs people who are alive, people who are on fire with purpose, people who wake up every morning knowing exactly why they do what they do and who refuse to let doubt, fear, or failure stop them. And listen, when you have that kind of vision, people might not understand you. They might call you crazy. They might tell you to slow down, to be realistic, to follow the safe road, but that's because they don't see what you see. They don't feel what you feel. They don't have the hunger burning inside of you, but you do. So hold on to it, feed it, protect it, let it push you, let it pull you, and when the road gets hard, and it will, when the setbacks come, and they will, you remind yourself why you started. Because when you have a vision that big, when you have a dream that won't let you sleep, there's only one option. You go after it with everything you've got. Everybody wants success. Everybody talks about their dreams, their goals, what they hope to accomplish. But wanting it isn't enough. Talking about it isn't enough. You have to work like you need it, like your survival depends on it. Like if you don't get up and grind every single day, you won't make it. Because hunger isn't about wishing, it's about needing. See, the difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't some magical opportunity that fell into their lap. It's hunger. The ones who succeed are the ones who refuse to stop. The ones who wake up every morning with fire in their eyes, ready to outwork, outlast, and outperform everybody else. Because they know if they don't, someone else will. Comfort is the enemy of progress. The moment you start thinking you've done enough, that you've arrived, that you can afford to slow down, that's the moment you start losing. Because there's always someone out there who wants it more than you. Someone who's willing to put in the extra hours, to push through the pain, to sacrifice sleep, comfort, distractions, whatever it takes to get to the top. And if you're not willing to match that hunger, you will get left behind. You have to work like you're starving. Like every second matters, like there is no plan B, no safety net, no backup option. Because when you remove the option to quit, when you take away the excuses, when you commit fully, that is when everything changes. But make no mistake, this isn't just about working hard, it's about working smart. It's about pushing yourself beyond what you thought was possible, about learning, evolving, adapting. It's about staying focused while the rest of the world is distracted. It's about showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when you're tired, even when nothing seems to be working. Because consistency beats intensity. Talent fades if you don't develop it. Potential means nothing if you don't execute. And let's be clear, this road isn't easy. It will test you, it will break you down. There will be days when you question yourself, when you wonder if it's all worth it, and that's when you have to dig deep. That's when you have to remind yourself why you started. That's when you have to push past the voice in your head that tells you to slow down, to take it easy, to wait until tomorrow. No, there is no tomorrow. There is only now. So ask yourself, are you hungry? Not just interested, not just excited when it's convenient, but hungry. Because if you are, prove it, show it. Work like your future depends on it, because it does. The moment you think you've got it all figured out, you've already lost. The second you start believing you're too good to learn, too smart to listen, too experienced to grow, that's when life humbles you, and it will. Because arrogance is the enemy of success. It blinds you, it traps you in a mindset that keeps you stagnant while the rest of the world moves forward. You see, real growth doesn't come from what you already know. It comes from what you're willing to learn. The greatest leaders, the most successful people, the ones who truly make an impact, they never stop being students. They understand that wisdom isn't about having all the answers. It's about knowing there's always more to learn. Learn from the ones ahead of you. The ones who've been where you're trying to go, who've taken the hits, made the mistakes, and fought the battles you haven't even faced yet. Listen to them, study them, absorb every lesson, because their experience can save you years of struggle. But don't just look up. Look around. Learn from the people beside you, the ones walking the same road, the ones grinding just like you. Iron sharpens iron. You grow stronger when you push and challenge each other. And don't ever make the mistake of thinking you can't learn from those behind you. The ones younger, the ones less experienced, the ones just getting started, they see things differently. They bring fresh ideas, new energy, and a perspective you might have lost along the way. Sometimes, the best lessons come from the most unexpected places. But none of this matters if your pride gets in the way. Pride will rob you of wisdom. It will keep you stuck in your own way of thinking, blind to new opportunities, deaf to advice that could change everything. You can't afford that. Because life doesn't care about how much you think you know. It will test you, it will challenge you, and if you're not open to learning, it will humble you in ways you never expected. Staying humble doesn't mean doubting yourself. It doesn't mean shrinking or playing small. It means having the confidence to know that growth never stops. It means understanding that even the greatest minds, the most successful people, the legends in every field, they all have mentors. They all keep learning. So check yourself. Are you listening? Are you open? Are you willing to admit that you don't know it all? Because the moment you stop learning, the moment you let arrogance take the wheel, you stop growing. And the world will pass you by. Stay curious, stay hungry. Learn from everyone, those ahead of you, those beside you, those behind you, because knowledge is power, but only if you're humble enough to receive it. Success is a test, not just of your skill, not just of your ambition, but of your character. It doesn't change you, it reveals you. Who you really are, what you really value, what you're really made of. Everybody says they'll stay the same when they make it. They swear they won't forget where they came from, that they'll keep their feet on the ground. But then the money comes, the recognition comes, the opportunities, the applause, the new circles, the new lifestyle, it all comes. And suddenly, things shift. The way they talk changes, the way they treat people changes. The hunger that once drove them starts to fade, replaced by comfort, by entitlement. They start looking down instead of looking back. But that's not real success. Real success isn't just about winning. It's about who you are while you win. It's about being able to stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, and still respect the person staring back at you. Because what good is all the success in the world if, in the process, you lose yourself? You have to remember where you came from. You have to remember the struggle, the late nights, the sacrifices, the people who believed in you before anybody else did. You have to remember the moments when you almost quit, when things didn't look like they would ever come together. Because those moments made you, and the moment you forget them, you risk losing the very thing that got you here in the first place. Stay grounded, stay humble. No matter how high you rise, no matter how far you go, never start thinking you're above anybody else. Because just as quickly as success comes, it can disappear. The same people you pass on your way up, you might see them on your way down. And the way you treat people when you're on top determines how you'll be remembered if you ever find yourself back at the bottom. But it's deeper than that. Staying humble, staying real. It's not just about other people, it's about you. It's about never letting success rob you of your purpose, your values, your integrity. Because when the money is spent, when the applause dies down, when the spotlight fades, what's left? Who are you when the stage is empty? That's the real test. Not whether you can succeed, but whether you can succeed and still be you. Whether you can achieve your dreams without letting them turn you into something you're not. So don't just chase success, earn it. Earn it with your work, your grit, your discipline, but more importantly, honor it. Honor it by staying true to who you are, by lifting others up, by leading with integrity. Because the world doesn't just need people who win, it needs people who win the right way. And that's the kind of success that lasts. Failure is coming. Not maybe, not someday. It's coming. And when it does, it will hit you hard. It will shake your confidence. It will make you question everything, your ability, your dreams, your purpose. But hear me when I say this. Failure is not the end. It is not a stop sign. It is not a reason to quit. Failure is part of the process. It is the price of admission for success. Too many people run from failure. They fear it like it's something to be ashamed of, something to avoid at all costs. But the truth is, failure is a teacher. It will teach you lessons no success ever could. It will humble you, sharpen you, force you to grow in ways you never would if everything always went your way. Every great success story you've ever heard, every legend, every icon, every person who made it to the top, they all have one thing in common. They failed, and then they got back up. The question is not if you'll fail, but what you'll do when you do. Will you let it break you? Will you let it define you? Will you let it convince you that you're not good enough, that your dream is out of reach, that you should settle? Or will you stand up, shake off the doubt, and keep moving forward? You have to stay humble enough to accept failure, but hungry enough to rise from it. When you fall, and you will, look at what knocked you down, study it, learn from it, take the lesson and use it. Because every setback, every disappointment, every closed door is preparing you, it's molding you, refining you, building the strength you'll need when you finally reach that next level. But you have to be willing to fight through it, to push forward when it feels impossible, to believe in yourself even when the world tells you you're done. Because the truth is, failure doesn't have the power to stop you unless you let it. The real failure isn't falling, it's staying down. It's making excuses. It's walking away from something you were meant to do because the road got rough. That's the kind of failure that leaves regret. And regret, that's heavier than any loss. So embrace failure, own it, look it in the eye and say, you will not break me. Because every time you rise from failure, you come back stronger, more focused, more prepared. And when you finally make it, and you will, you'll stand there knowing that every fall, every setback, every moment of doubt was necessary because it made you who you are. The only way you truly fail is if you quit. So don't. Keep going, keep learning, keep fighting, because success isn't for the perfect, it's for the relentless. Success isn't just about you. If everything you're working for, everything you're chasing, everything you're building only benefits you, then you're thinking too small. Real success is bigger than that. It's about impact. It's about legacy. It's about the difference you make in the lives of others. Too many people climb the mountain only to stand at the top alone. They get the money, the recognition, the power, but if you look closely, there's an emptiness in their eyes because they missed the point. They thought success was about stacking up achievements, about proving something to the world, about making sure they got ahead. But true success, it's not just about how far you go. It's about who you bring with you. Look around. Who are you lifting up? Who are you inspiring? Who are you reaching back for? Because if your success doesn't help anyone but you, then what have you really built? A house with no foundation, a trophy with no meaning, a life that in the end only served one person. The greatest people, the ones we remember, the ones who truly leave a mark, understood this. They used their gifts, their platform, their success to serve. They mentored, they gave back, they poured into others. And in doing so, they became greater, not because of what they had, but because of who they impacted. It's not about being the loudest. It's not about showing off what you've got. It's about being intentional with your success. Because you don't have to be famous to make a difference. You don't have to be rich to change a life. You don't have to be in the spotlight to serve. Sometimes the most powerful impact comes in the quiet moments. Encouraging someone when they're ready to give up. Opening a door for someone who never thought they'd get a chance. Believing in someone before they even believe in themselves. But to do that, you have to stay humble enough to remember where you came from and hungry enough to keep pushing forward, not just for yourself, but for others. Because the world needs more than just successful people. The world needs leaders. The world needs people willing to step up and say, I'm not just doing this for me, I'm doing this to make a difference. That's how you build a legacy. That's how you make your success matter, not by hoarding it, not by keeping it to yourself, but by using it to change lives, to inspire, to serve. So ask yourself, who are you helping? Who are you lifting? Who are you making better? Because at the end of the day, true success isn't measured by what you have. It's measured by what you give. And if you get to the top but leave no impact, you didn't really make it. Comfort is a slow poison. It doesn't hit you all at once. It creeps in. It whispers, take it easy, you've done enough. You've earned the right to slow down. And before you know it, you're stuck in a routine that no longer challenges you, stuck in a mindset that keeps you from reaching higher, stuck in a life that feels comfortable but not fulfilled. You were not made for comfort. You were made for growth. And growth, it's uncomfortable. It's stretching. It's stepping into the unknown. It's feeling that fear, that doubt, that uncertainty, and moving forward anyway. Because the truth is, if you're never uncomfortable, you're not growing. If you're never scared, you're not pushing hard enough. If everything in your life feels familiar and safe, you're not walking toward greatness. You're standing still. Look at the people who changed the world, the ones who built something bigger than themselves. They didn't do it from a place of comfort. They stepped into the fire, they took risks, they failed, they adjusted, they tried again. They didn't settle for good enough because they knew good enough is the enemy of great. You say you have big dreams. You say you want more for your life. But are you willing to be uncomfortable? Are you willing to wake up earlier, to work harder, to push past your own limits? Are you willing to put yourself in situations where you might fail, where you might struggle, where you might have to fight harder than you ever have before? Because if you're not, then you don't really want it. Too many people live their lives in a box of their own making. They stay where it's safe, where it's predictable, where they know they won't get hurt. But playing it safe never built a legacy. Playing it safe never made history. Playing it safe never turned dreams into reality. You've got to be willing to step into the unknown, to take that leap, to believe in yourself, even when the road ahead looks uncertain. Because that's where growth happens. That's where transformation happens. That's where you find out what you're truly made of. It won't be easy. There will be moments when you want to turn back, when you want to retreat to what's familiar. But you have to remind yourself, comfort is not my friend, growth is. You have to make a choice. Do you want to stay where it's safe, or do you want to go where your dreams are waiting? Because I promise you this, your dreams, your success, your next level, it's not in your comfort zone. It never has been and it never will be. So challenge yourself. Put yourself in rooms that make you feel small, because that's where you'll learn. Take on tasks that scare you, because that's where you'll grow. Chase goals so big they make you a little nervous, because that's where you'll transform. Stay uncomfortable, stay hungry, stay reaching, because the moment you settle, that's the moment you stop becoming everything you were meant to be. The people around you will either push you forward or pull you backward. There is no in between. If you are serious about success, about becoming the best version of yourself, then you need to take a hard look at who you are surrounding yourself with. Do they challenge you? Do they inspire you? Do they push you to be better, to work harder, to stay disciplined? Or do they let you slide, let you make excuses, let you settle for less than you are capable of? Too many people surround themselves with cheerleaders but not coaches. They want applause, but they don't want accountability. They want to be told they're doing great even when they're not putting in the work. But real success, real greatness, it doesn't come from comfort. It comes from being challenged, from being held to a higher standard, from having people in your life who will call you out when you start slipping, not because they don't believe in you, but because they do. The truth is, success is not a solo act. Nobody makes it alone. Every great athlete has a coach who pushes them beyond their limits. Every great leader has mentors who guide them. Every great artist has peers who critique them, sharpen them, push them to be better. You need that same kind of team in your life. People who won't let you get lazy. People who won't let you make excuses. People who won't let you forget who you are and what you are capable of. And here's the hard part. It's not always comfortable. It's not always easy to hear the truth. Sometimes the people who hold you accountable will tell you things you don't want to hear. They will call you out when you're not showing up the way you should. They will push you to go harder, to stay disciplined, to stop making excuses, and that might sting. But would you rather be surrounded by people who challenge you to grow, or by people who watch you settle for mediocrity? Iron sharpens iron. Weakness sharpens nothing. If you want to be great, you need to be around people who are great. If you want to stay hungry, you need to be around people who refuse to let you starve. If you want to be successful, you need to surround yourself with success. Not just in money, not just in status, but in mindset, in discipline, in character. And it goes both ways. If you want strong people around you, be a strong person. Be the kind of friend, the kind of teammate, the kind of leader who lifts others up, who challenges them, who holds them accountable. Because when you build a circle of people who sharpen each other, who push each other, who demand the best from each other, that's when you create something powerful. So take a look at the people in your life. Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? Are they making you better or keeping you comfortable? Choose wisely, because who you surround yourself with will shape your future more than you realize. The moment you start believing you've arrived, the moment you start thinking, I've made it, that's the moment you begin to fall. Because there is no finish line in success, no final destination where you can sit back, relax, and say, I'm done. Life doesn't work that way. Growth doesn't work that way. Excellence doesn't work that way. Look at the greatest in any field. Athletes, leaders, artists, innovators. The ones who stay at the top are the ones who never stop reaching, never stop improving, never stop learning. Because the second you get comfortable, the second you stop pushing, someone hungrier than you is coming to take your spot. Success is not a resting place. It's a responsibility. The more you achieve, the harder you have to work to sustain it. The more you grow, the more you realize how much more there is to learn. That's why the best never stop. They don't let titles, money, or accolades make them complacent. They don't let past victories blind them to the work still ahead. They know that success is not about what you did yesterday. It's about what you're doing right now. And staying hungry doesn't just mean chasing the next achievement. It means never settling in any part of your life, never believing you've learned enough, never believing you've given enough, never believing you've done all you can do. Because there's always more inside you. There's always another level, another challenge, another opportunity to grow, to give, to impact the world around you. The danger of thinking you've made it is that it tricks you into thinking the work is over, that you can take your foot off the gas. But life doesn't slow down just because you do. The world keeps moving. The competition keeps rising. The challenges keep coming. And if you're not pushing forward, you're falling behind. Stay humble enough to know there's always more to learn. Stay hungry enough to chase that next level with everything you've got. Keep striving, keep reaching. Keep sharpening your skills, your mindset, your discipline, because the people who win in the long run, they don't stop when they succeed. They don't let success make them soft. They use it as fuel. They take what they've learned, what they've earned, and they keep going. And when you do achieve something great, don't just hold on to it for yourself. Teach, mentor, give back, because true success isn't just about how high you climb. It's about how many people you lift up along the way. The greatest legacy you can leave is not in trophies or titles, but in the impact you have on others. So don't ever think you've made it. Don't ever believe you've reached the peak. There is no peak. There is only the next step, the next challenge, the next level. Keep moving, keep growing, keep proving to yourself every single day that you are not done yet. One day your time here will be up. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Because when that day comes, people won't talk about how much money you had in the bank. They won't list your job titles or the size of your house. They won't care about the car you drove or the clothes you wore. What they will remember is the impact you had, the lives you touched, the people you lifted up. So the real question is, what are you building? Are you building something that dies with you or something that outlives you? Legacy isn't about wealth, fame, or power. It's about the mark you leave on this world, the seeds you plant in others. It's about the difference you make, not just for yourself, but for generations to come. True legacy is built on humility and hunger. Humility to remember where you came from, to stay true to your values, to never let success make you forget your purpose, and hunger to keep pushing, to keep striving, to make every day count. Because legacy isn't built in one grand moment. It's built in the small choices you make every single day. Think about the people who came before you, the ones who paved the way. Somebody fought for you, somebody sacrificed, somebody gave their blood, sweat, and tears so that you could have opportunities they never had. The question is, will you do the same for someone else, or will you take and never give back? You don't have to be famous to leave a legacy. You don't have to be a millionaire to make an impact. All you have to do is care. Care enough to lift someone up when they fall. Care enough to share your knowledge, your wisdom, your experience. Care enough to use your success, not just for yourself, but to open doors for others. Because the greatest thing you can leave behind isn't a bank account. It's a blueprint for how to work hard, how to lead with integrity, how to stand tall in the face of adversity. It's the lessons you pass down, the encouragement you give, the example you set. One day people will speak your name. What will they say? That you chased success only for yourself? Or that you changed lives? That you played it safe? Or that you dared to dream big, to take risks, to push past fear? You get one life, one shot. Don't waste it chasing things that don't matter. Make it count. Build something that lasts. Live in a way that long after you're gone, your name still means something. Because in the end, legacy is not about what you take with you, it's about what you leave behind. So I ask you, how hungry are you? How humble are you? Because that will determine how far you go. Stay hungry, stay humble, and watch how your life changes. Now, go make it happen.